You actually get very close before you actually start firing with a good chance of hitting people. Musket balls are going to travel 200, 300 yards depending on how much powder they put in the barrel, but they lose velocity very, very quickly and actually become very, very inaccurate. You can see how long it's taking to load between shots. So if your effective range is 50 to 60 yards, somebody coming towards you with determination doesn't give you many chances to shoot at them. So not a very effective weapon, but in the middle of the 17th century it was starting to dominate the battlefield. Essentially, massed ranks of musketeers is the secret. Get very close and blast away.
Colonel, can you come out with your musket, please? In your own time.
That means hurry up.
The gentleman that's marching out towards us is a gentleman volunteer, so he's a retired colonel. So he's serving in the ranks as a musketeer, but because he's a gentleman, he wears his own suit of clothes, not the hodden grey of the common soldier. But the reason I brought him out from the fire and the warmth is I want to let you get a closer look at the musketeer and his accoutrements. Now this musket is actually not a matchlock because he can afford something better. It's a flintlock and it's fired with a flint. So he doesn't have some of the problems the other musketeers have. But round his body he's got a bandolier, a series of wooden cases. Now each of those carries gunpowder for one shot. So you'll see when the other musketeers come down, they're all carrying those bandoliers, and that's what they're loading from.
Hurry it up! Okay.
The muskets that the gentlemen are using are treated by the constabulary as shotguns. They're smooth bore, but they require all the certification of a shotgun.
In your own time.
Take fire! Get fire! Squeeze!
And again.
We come up!
Sounds like the corporal's losing his voice already.
Well, that smoke's not nice.
The smoke you can see from a very small number of musketeers is, depending on the weather, impressive. Imagine massed armies, and in the 17th century battlefield, very quickly they would all disappear into a black smelly cloud and nobody could actually see what was going on or know what was going on. You have to add to that in the middle of the 17th century we really didn't have uniforms across the army. In Scotland it was slightly more uniform because we went for the cheapest, nastiest we could get, an undyed wool or a hodden grey colour. So the Scots army was actually quite uniform. In the Civil War in England, to start off with, every unit was wearing whatever colour the man raising it could afford or fancied. So there were units that were in red and blue and green and purple and orange. Towards the end of the Civil War in England, the parliamentarian, the new model army was raised and they adopted the red coat. And that's the start of the British Army adopting a red coat. That was the start of a uniform. But in the middle of the 17th century, prior to that, everybody could be wearing all kinds of things. So both sides could be wearing exactly the same coat colours, look exactly the same.